to another video. So tomorrow is January 12th and that will be Braxton's 4-month birthday. So I wanted to do a video and talk about what I've been doing, what we've been doing actually for the last 4 months to help us cope and help us with our grief. I'm gonna try to remember what the first few weeks were like, but it's kind of hard because those were the darkest times and I feel like my mind kind of like really blocked out those memories. But from what I remember, the first few weeks after losing Braxton were a nightmare. Actually, the first couple nights that we would come home, we couldn't sleep in our own bed. If you watched my nursery tour, you can see that I had Braxton's bassinet right next to my side of the bed. And I tried to sleep in our bed and it just felt wrong and terrible because he wasn't in the bassinet, but he wasn't in my belly anymore. So the first few nights we actually slept on the floor here in his nursery. Luckily my family was here and every minute felt like, the only way I can describe it is to say that it felt like we were drowning. I'm just trying to remember. We would do things just to stay busy. I mean, we spent our days sleeping as much as we could, and I think we would wake up around 1 or 2. We'd try to leave the house around like 3, and that was the only time that we would eat. We would eat once a day. And by the way, the first time eating after losing Braxton was one of the saddest moments ever because when I had Braxton, eating was something fun that we would do together. There were some foods that he would really respond to, and like Korean barbecue. And it was always fun to eat because I felt like I was feeding him and we were kind of bonding over food, and it would always make me smile and laugh how he would like kick so much afterwards. So that first night after we got home from the hospital, and I remember we were actually in here and I had a chicken soup, chicken vegetable soup. And I took a bite and my body was just completely still. And it was, I don't think I've ever felt, my soul has ever felt more empty in my life. I can't even explain the disappointment, and I kind of just felt like, what is the point of even eating now, you know? And it felt like that about a lot of different things, which I'll get into. So yeah, that's how we spent the first few weeks. Just sleeping as much as we could and sleeping on the floor here in Braxton's room or on the floor in the living room because it was too hard to go back into our bedroom without Braxton being there. We never thought that that's how it would be. And I remember every night before bed, Jonathan and I would look at each other and we would say, we made it. Like, we made it another day. We survived. And we would say that to each other every night. Another thing that we would do a lot was that we would go to this spot by the ocean. I went there in my last video. I showed it. There's a tree there. We carved Braxton's name and everything. We went there a lot. And we spent a lot of time there. By the way, I was still going through all my postpartum stuff. I had stitches, TMI maybe, but it's true, and it was really painful. It really hurt to walk and sit down and do normal things, and I mean we needed to get out of the house because we just felt like we were drowning even more when we stayed here all day. So we'd go out to eat and I always carried a backpack around with me and I had all my stuff. I had like these huge pads and like the spray that the hospital gives you and the witch hazel pad, like all that stuff I had with me. And every single time I went to the restroom was torture because it was just a reminder that, hey, you just gave birth, you know, like you're bleeding and you have stitches and it's painful. And it just blew my mind. It just made me feel some type of way to know that we were going to all these places and nobody had a clue what we had just been through. That's something else that actually still bothers me now, is going places, especially when I see other moms and they have their strollers and they have like their babies, they're carrying their babies. sometimes I just want to go up to them and say, like, I'm a mom too, you know? That's one of the things that I hate the most about losing Braxton is that, I don't know, we don't get to take him everywhere with us. We don't get to give him all the love that we wanted to give him. Oh, I did go back to school only 2 weeks after losing Braxton. I think I was able to handle it because it was just one class. But the thing is that it was a psychology class and it talked about like lifespan psychology. So there was a whole lecture about infants to 2-year-olds and 2-year-olds to 4-year-olds. So that was really hard. A lot of students in the class would raise their hands and give examples about their kids. And there was this one mom who would always talk about her son. Around Halloween, she was talking about how her son wanted this costume and she took him to go get the costume and he looked so cute, and I was just like sitting in the back waiting for the story to be over, basically. It sucked. And even on my final, there was an APGAR question. If you don't know what APGAR means, it's basically a score that you would give to a newborn based on their appearance, reflex. Wow, I already forgot it. Respiration, I think, is one. So yeah, I'm doing my final. I'm writing everything out, what it means. And all I could think was Braxton's APGAR score was 0 because he wasn't alive. I think when I turned in my final, there were probably like little like water drops there from my tears, but I got an A in that class. So yeah, that's how the first few weeks went. My family, from what I can remember, they were coming to visit as much as they could every weekend. They got us this cute little patio set. They put these little lanterns outside also. So Jonathan and I would go out there sometimes and we just have a glass of wine. Well, a lot more than one glass of wine, to be honest. We just talk about everything. So shortly after that was when Jonathan's mom came into town. That was actually right before Braxton's memorial. And we didn't have his memorial until almost a month later. I hate thinking about it, but Braxton did have an autopsy because we wanted to know what was going on. And of course, he was completely 100% healthy. And that's something that I want to talk about later in a video too, because I have a lot of anger at the fact that we lost Braxton and he was 100% healthy. I honestly believe that it should have happened. When Jonathan's mom was here, we had Braxton's memorial. Thank you to everyone who came to Braxton's memorial. We were so shocked by the amount of people who showed up. It meant so much to us, and I don't think people looked at it this way, but to us, that was one of the only times that we really, actually the only time we ever got to show Braxton to anyone. And to us, that represented his birthday, his graduation, his wedding, like all those things that we're never going to have with him, we put into his memorial. I made a couple of videos. I recorded a song. Jonathan wrote a eulogy for Braxton, and it was amazing to honor him that way. So it meant everything to us that all of those people showed up. We were lucky that Jonathan's mom actually stayed with us for a couple of weeks. It was nice to just not be at home alone, and Jonathan had gone back to work already really soon, I think only after a few weeks. So it was really nice for me to have her here. And when she was here, we did stuff like tried new restaurants, because after losing Braxton, it was really hard to go back to the same places. And there's a whole list of places that I still haven't been to until this day. And the reason why is because those were the places where I had my best memories of Braxton and going places with him and talking to him and doing all that stuff. It just hurts to go back. We got tattoos. I showed it in another video, but here it goes. Yeah, we got tattoos when Jonathan's mom was here. And then my brother, we didn't go together, but my brother and his wife got tattoos for Braxton also. Jonathan's mom even got a tattoo. I thought that was super awesome. She got a really small little bee with a heart on it. It was really cool. So it was really nice to have her here, have the support. We also went, this is in October, so we went to the OC Walk to Remember. It was just such a weird coincidence that the Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month was 1 month after losing Braxton. I think because of that, a lot of people were posting and using that hashtag, and I was able to find a lot of moms on Instagram and Facebook and connect with them. I actually found a mom who lost her baby. She didn't have a stillbirth, but her baby passed away because of a heart condition, and I found her on Facebook. I messaged her and she was just so amazing. She was so willing to meet up with me as soon as possible, and she did. And that was actually my first time that I drove in my car alone. That was really, really hard because I felt so alone, because before I would drive and I have Braxton with me and I would talk to him and I would sing to him and all these special moments. So now to go into my car completely just silent, and I just felt so alone. But I did drive and I met up with her at Starbucks, and she just sat with me and cried, listened to everything. She told me about her baby, which she's such a beautiful little girl, Jaylee. She told me about her baby and, you know, stuff like planning the funeral, things like that, like things that people say to you that they shouldn't say. And yeah, it was really awesome. So just the fact that I was able to meet up with her and see that she's alive, it just gave me hope. So I want to say thank you, Christiana, and you're amazing, and I think about Jaylee all the time. I'm gonna just read a list of some of the things that I could remember that we've done or that we did. Counseling and support groups is a big one. There's an online support group in our area, or for our time zone. I believe it's every Monday night, and it's nice because they actually have a support group for grandparents as well. So I'm going to link that below. That's a Star Legacy organization. Another support group that's actually free is by Forever Footprints. They're the organization that put on the OC Walk to Remember, so I'm going to link them down below as well. And we also see a private therapist as well, so that's really helpful, going to the support groups. We went to the zoo, we did a lot of hiking, working out, just being outdoors a lot really helped. Puzzles. I would do a lot of puzzles, and I still like to do them too. I also got a bird feeder, which is random, but it's nice because I look outside the window a lot and I always see birds. And it's just right outside of Braxton's room, so I'm always peeking over to see. Sometimes there's this one bird and he just stays there all day, and I really think it's Braxton, or Braxton sending me a sign. That's how I like to look at it. Acts of kindness. Self-care is another big one. There's sometimes when I just was not feeling well at all. I would just take a really long hot shower or bath, have a glass of wine, and put a face mask on, and it helps. It really does help you feel a little bit better. So we did a lot of reading, especially the first couple weeks after losing Braxton. So I went to grab all the books that we ordered. This was one of the first, I think this was the first one that I started reading. It's called Life Touches Life, and it's about a woman who had a stillbirth. I don't know why I stopped reading it. I got like halfway through. This was really helpful because it was one of the first things that I started reading. And again, at that time, I just thought, there's no way. How am I gonna live my life without my son? There's no way. This kind of things, like seeing other moms that experienced stillbirth years ago or months ago and that they're alive really helped me in the beginning stages. So this is another good one, Expecting Sunshine. With this one, I think I would recommend it to you if you're in the stages of being pregnant with your rainbow baby, because that's what she focuses on in this book. This one is probably my top favorite, I think. It's Surviving My First Year of Child Loss. And I like it because it has a lot of different stories from different families, and it's not only stillbirth, but yeah, I've been really enjoying reading this story because every parent at the end of their story, they leave you with hope. You Are the Mother of All Mothers. This one was given to me by the hospital. Jonathan really likes this one. It's called Bearing the Unbearable. I haven't started reading this one yet, but I know that he likes it a lot. And then this one, I just ordered it. I just started reading it last night, actually. Someone from Instagram recommended it to me. It's called Mending Tomorrow. She's really hopeful in the book. The only thing is with this one is that it's super focused around God and really religious. And I honestly just don't even know how I feel about all of that anymore, but I'm giving it a try. One more thing that I wanted to mention is that my best friend would come, well, she still comes to visit me, probably at least like once a week, and takes me out to lunch. And I feel comfortable around her now to the point where we can even laugh at jokes together. And she's here with me when I'm at my absolute lowest, and she doesn't know what to say, but the fact that she's here for me and she's just listening and that she loves Braxton, that just means a lot to me. I wanted to say that a lot of time, maybe families, they don't know what to do, they don't know what to say, but just being there is what we need. Just be there to listen, be there to cry with us, talk about our babies with us. That's what we want, that's what we need. Something else, it just went up recently actually, was my website. I have a blog on there, so that's something that's really helpful. And I also have just a private journal where I write letters to Braxton. Yeah, it helps a lot to just pour my heart out and just write about how I'm feeling and how much I miss him. And I feel like it helps me connect with him too. I realized that doing the videos and the blog, talking about Braxton, I find comfort in doing that because to me that's kind of the only way that I'm able to take care of him since he's not here. At the beginning, well, even still now, you feel this loss of identity. You don't really know who you are, what's your purpose, things like that after losing your baby, because as soon as you find out that you're pregnant, you plan your baby's entire life. So going further into your pregnancy, you have like the whole nursery, you literally have their whole life planned out. And so after losing your baby unexpectedly, it's hard to just go back to a life without your baby and not being a mother, because that's what you had planned for this whole time. So yeah, I think that that's why I find comfort in doing the blog and doing the videos. It's because I feel like this is me taking care of my baby. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone. That's something that's helpful to me. So something I haven't done yet, but I really want to try is yoga. Volunteering, definitely. One of my lost mom friends, she says that she volunteers every weekend and that's really helpful to her. So I recently got this daily calendar and it just has affirmations. Today it says, never let the things you want make you forget the things you have. Easier said than done. So this is something positive that you can look at every day. Little things like that. I mean, nothing's gonna solve the heartache 100%, but there are things that we can do to help us get by. So the way that I'm feeling now that it's 4 months is I feel a lot of anger right now. The more research I do about stillbirth, the more stories I hear, it just makes me really angry because I mentioned it before that I felt cheated, and it just makes me really upset because I feel if certain things had been done differently, that Braxton would be here. I feel like there was no reason for him to pass away and that he shouldn't have. And I've been feeling a lot of anxiety lately too, because I think because of the new year, to me it's just symbolizes, it's a new year and that life has to go on even if it's without Braxton. And that's something that's really hard for me to accept. So that's it for today's video. I really hope it was helpful to some of you. I do want to say that everyone grieves differently, and maybe some of the things that I've done are not going to be helpful for someone else. Leave a comment and let me know something that you do when you're feeling down, or things that you might do on a regular basis to keep your spirits up. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.